This week we're talking about copyright and Creative Commons. For those of you who have taken classes with me in the past, yes, this again is your reminder about the emphasis of copyright that I put on all of my classes. For those of you who have not yet taken classes with me, this is your introduction. I promise you, every single one of my classes gets a unit on copyright because it is massively important that we address copyright. For some of you who are working in K-12 settings, we always think about fair use and education. Those rules are a little bit trickier than we might think. For others, especially those who are working in industry training environments, copyright's usually a bigger conversation. And I remember when I worked as an instructional designer, constantly working with our public relations office to make sure that all of our training materials did not violate copyright in any shape, way, or form. In case you're curious about the image on screen, head over to tshirthell.com where you can purchase this lovely design on a t-shirt about copyright infringement. This week you're working through a tutorial on Copyright 101 because I do want to delve into the aspects of copyright. I also want to talk a little bit this week about social creation and what's happening in the 21st century when we think about copyright and all rights reserved and how restrictive that is. I know many of you are familiar with Creative Commons because I love Creative Commons. I bring it up frequently. Some of you may not, so here's an opportunity to learn something about Creative Commons and social creation. But then I also give you some resources to look at in terms of access to different media that you might need. And even within the paid media world, this isn't necessarily in this week's content, but we maintain a subscription to Shutterstock.com. I've used Shutterstock in the past when I was an instructional designer, but even then, just because we've paid for a subscription doesn't mean that we have the rights to use every single image in their service. Different images have different usage requirements. So for example, John Boyega played Finn in episode 7, and it came out a few weeks ago that he previously worked as a stock photo model, and these images popped up. Good luck finding some of those images based off of his name through any of the media services. But if you do Google John Boyega or go to Shutterstock or Getty Images or one of the other services, and you look for Finn, Star Wars Episode 7, or you look for John Boyega, you'll find tons of pictures of him at red carpet events, at other media events, and there's usually a tagline that says for editorial use only. So just because I've paid for access to that image doesn't mean that I can use it any way I want. I still have to follow the rules. That's what this week is about, giving you some of the resources and talking about copyright in the modern age. This is also a great chance for those of you who have studied abroad to talk about copyright in other countries. Might be some worthwhile information there as you get into this week's discussion. So with that, let's take a look at our expectations. Use the on-screen navigation to access another section of this week's overview.